Hey guys, this is AwesomeSpecs21 here, your destination for speculation, and I was going to wait till Halloween to do this, but you guys, it's actually happening. So I was on Twitter when someone mentioned me in a comment saying, hey Specs, you might want to see this, and it was an announcement for Luigi's Mansion 3, and oh my goodness am I excited. For those that don't know, Luigi's Mansion is absolutely my favorite game ever, and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is a close second. If you've never played a Luigi's Mansion game, perhaps you've played the arcade one that can be found at multiple Dave & Buster locations. Or you've played the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Battle Course of Luigi's Mansion, or the GameCube one, whichever you prefer. Or possibly the course of Luigi's Mansion. My point is, it's a very popular and underrated game, but it's a very well done game, and getting a second sequel, that is huge. I'm still waiting on Super Mario Sunshine 2, but whatever. I am just so excited for this game. I had to do this right now, because it's actually a thing now. So here we go, the once and don't once in Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, one thing that I definitely want to see back in the game is the return of the gallery ghost from the first game. Now, you probably don't know what a gallery ghost is unless you've played the first game, but basically they were these ghosts that escaped from the paintings they were in along with King Boo, that EGAD seemed to have sold at a garage sale. And that's what brings us into the second game where he escapes. What if the other gallery ghost escaped along with King Boo? Like, I would definitely like to see these back in the game because they were interesting and they made the game more challenging because you couldn't just shine your light and suck them up, each one had a special way to capture it. And that's what made the game fun for me, and I definitely would like to see something like that back in Luigi's Mansion 3. One of my favorite parts of the second game was the inclusion of the Polterpup. The Polterpup, he's just so cute. But the thing is, in the second game, all he did was show up, steal your key, and then an entire level would be based on this Polterpup. And then sometimes he would just take the key and run away with it. Anyway, it seems like a very interesting aspect to have the Polterpup back in the game, which we know it's coming back in the game. But what will his role be? I, for one, would like to play as the Polterpup, or just having a bigger role for it. So that's why I want the bigger role for the Polterpup. And I mean, who wouldn't want this cute little guy in the game? I mean, just look at how cute he is. Maybe it's a mode in Scarescraper where you have to chase down the Polterpup, but no, I want something bigger for the Polterpup in this game, because the Polterpup, I mean, he's just so cute. I need my Polterpup. One more thing I want is a big, gigantic mansion to explore, because the second game had five smaller mansions, and you could go through each one collecting different gems and doing all the different levels and stuff, but I prefer the one big mansion over the 5 little mansions. For one thing, it ironically makes the game longer, and it makes a more mysterious thing because you have more time to explore it. I beat this game like, I don't know, 8 years ago, and I'm still finding. And if I went back and played it, I'm 100% sure I would still find objects that I never knew were there when I beat the game. And that's why I want one big mansion to look at, and it looks like we're going to be getting that, so far Nintendo, you're doing a good job. The next thing that's definitely on my list, a co-op mode. And I don't mean like the Scarescraper co-op mode, but the thing is that Luigi's Mansion is coming out on the Switch, not the 3DS or the GameCube. The reason it wasn't co-op on the GameCube was because that Super Mario Sunshine came out and that game wasn't co-op either. So they wanted to kind of parody Super Mario Sunshine with Luigi's Mansion, and you can even find references to Luigi's Mansion in Super Mario Sunshine. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm saying that a real co-op mode would be two of you going to the mansion together. Like I said, one of you could be the Polterpup, or it could be something similar to the Super Mario Odyssey, where one person controls the vacuum and the other one is Luigi. Either way, I just really want a co-op mode in this game because it seems really interesting to play it with a friend, because we played it alone so long. And that's why I really want a co-op mode. If you're a humongous Mario fanatic like I am, you would probably know that in multiplayer games, each character is given a special skill based on their skill set. Most of the time, Luigi's special skill is jumping, but that is something that they take away from Luigi's Mansion. In neither of the games is Luigi able to jump at any point, and it kind of gets annoying when there's like a key stuck on a shelf and you can't get to it. However, he can use his vacuum to pull objects down, but you know, it's still annoying that he can't jump. And a jump button would be useful, yes, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a jump. You don't need to jump, you just need a way to get yourself off the ground. And I have reason to believe that we are actually getting a hover pack addition to the Poltergust this year, or for this game. And it's actually quite interesting, because I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm interested to see, like, where this goes, and if it's really real. And if it is real, great. Because most of the mansion is accessible without jumping anyway, or at least they are in the first and second games. But I really am looking forward to actually, like, jumping in this game, so I really hope that they do add a jump button of some sort. Or just a way to get Luigi off the ground. Because, I mean, literally he's light as a feather, and maybe they're actually hinting at this with Luigi's Balloon World in Super Mario Odyssey. Just all about the hints, aren't you, Nintendo? Now that we've gone over everything that I would like to see in the game, let's go over some things that I really don't want to see. Okay, here we go. My list of don't wants for Luigi's Mansion 3. Dear Nintendo, please, 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 do not make the game too easy. That's what I didn't like about Dark Moon, was it was too easy and it was way too short. Like, I think longer games are harder in the long run because there's more to do. You have more of the game to look forward to. And Luigi's Mansion is pretty much a very well done game, so I would like to see more challenging ghosts and just more challenging boss battles. Just make the game a little more challenging, and don't make it too easy. That's all I want to see. Now, it's already too much to say that I don't want the same goal as the other two games, because they're both the same. You go to the mansion that the ghost trapped you to, or something else happens, or like a moon shatters into a million pieces and you have to go around collecting all of them while saving your brother. That was one of the things I really liked about Dark Moon, was that it wasn't just about saving Mario, it was about saving Mario and restoring the pieces of the Dark Moon to make the ghosts feel good again. So maybe this time just add a little twist to the plot like you did with Dark Moon. And don't make it too repetitive of a story, because Mario games do have a tendency to be repetitive, but Luigi's Mansion doesn't have to be that repetitive. You can add more to the plot, and that's all I want. Now, it is basically a tradition in the Luigi's Mansion universe to have toads in the game. In the first game, all the toads did was save your game, and you would go to them every time you wanted to save your game, but they were kind of useless because you could just pause the menu and save your game whenever you wanted to. So I'm not really sure what their purpose was in the first game, and then in the second game, on certain missions, toads would come with you, and you would have to drag them across the mansion and just get them out of there because they got themselves stuck in stupid situations. Then each one of them had like a certain thing that they couldn't do, like one couldn't go through water and then the other one was afraid of clocks for some reason. I just really don't know. And, yeah, I really don't want the toads in the game unless they're doing something significant. But I would be okay with them just not being in the game at all. Of course, they're probably coming back to the game, but I don't want them in the game. I mean, if they're in the game, I'll still buy the game, but I won't be happy about the toads in it. So I don't like the toads. I'm sorry. Okay, so if you played any sort of Luigi's Mansion game at all, you would know that the boos play a big part in the game. Especially the first game, because you had to have a certain number of boos in order to face the boss. And, I don't want the boos to be, like, non-important. I want the boos to be useful. Like they were in the first game. And they made for some pretty interesting cutscenes, and each boo had its own personality, which was something that carried over to the second game. But the boos didn't really do anything in the second game. I want the boos to do something in this game, and I don't want their role to be non-important. So yeah, I just want the boos to do something important, and maybe you have to collect a certain number to get to the boss like you did in the first game. I don't know, but I just want the boos to do something useful. Now look, you've heard me knock on the second game a lot during this video, but the one redeeming quality that it has, or one of the redeeming qualities that it has, is the Poltergust is much better in that game. Because it's got the flashing ability that lets you flash objects and ghost on what you do with it. And then it has the dark light, which can reveal hidden objects within the room and help you find boos and stuff. When the original Poltergeist, it didn't have much to it, but it did have something. It had element metals that could help you master the elements of fire, water, and ice whenever you needed them. But other than that, and just normally sucking ghost up and reversing things, it didn't really have much to it. That's why I don't want the original Poltergust back. I want to see something new with the Poltergust, and it looks like we'll be getting that, so I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, those are my list of wants and don't wants for Luigi's Mansion 3, and so far this game looks pretty interesting. It looks well done, it looks like fun. I can't wait to play it in 2019, something that I'm definitely looking forward to. And be sure to put down below what you want and don't want to see in the game. And I may or may not have to make a part 2 on this, because this is just covering the basics of what I don't and do want to see. But I also want to see a lot more, like Luigi's facial expressions in Dark Moon, because those were just great. So yeah, I may or may not do a part 2 in this later in October, but yeah, so far this looks like a pretty fun game, and as a huge Luigi's Mansion fan and just a huge Luigi fan overall, I'm really looking forward to it. So, thank you for watching, and see you guys next time. This is AwesomeSpecs21, your destination for speculation, signing off. Bye!